Global warming may be the defining issue of our time. The main purpose of this report is to explore practical ways direct action can cut greenhouse gas emissions by engaging with the URW Coffee Club digital artifact URW Cafe Amigos. The focus of this DAR is to inform members how they can do their individual parts to help support the cause of preventing global warming. The DAR focus and content creation. This DAR project was established last year to connect with Coffee Club members and is regularly updated, so I am able to engage with my audience to keep members informed of club activities and general topics about coffee. The audience for the blogs were subscribers to our website and students following the URW Cafe Amigos Instagram page. Methodology. The first steps taken for this project were moving towards a sustainable approach, where I would buy and compare the biodegradability of reusable takeaway coffee cups. However, this did not follow through as I was misguided on the DA criteria. However, I promoted the idea onto our club's Instagram page to gather analytical data, insights as to whether they would be interested in the club's environmental coffee action plan. Additionally, I promoted a survey on the sustainability approach via the website and Instagram. Unfortunately, this does not meet the standards of the project's marking criteria, and I had to reevaluate the next steps targeting direct action at an industrial corporate level. Research. The approach of this research was to use this online platform to share ideas and information on decarbonisation and promote direct action. To understand my audience better, I posted a survey on my DAR, and readers were invited to share their thoughts on a number of issues concerning decarbonising the coffee industry. I was able to use the results to inform my DAR on what topics issues were of interest to my audience. Research readings included academic papers, online journals, and newspaper articles. Action. To encourage members to engage in direct action to cut GGEs, it was important to present information as clearly and accurately as possible. Ways of reducing carbon emissions were introduced via the content on the weekly blogs, which included the following actions. Research findings were related to audience via the DA. Examples of direct actions were suggested from time to time on the blog's posts. Those interested were able to get tips on how to write to their MPs. Coffee outlets on the URW Cafe campus were interviewed on their decarbonisation practices and whether they use certified coffee. ChatGPT was used to write social media posts and letters to MPs to remind them that there are many in the electorate that are concerned about this issue. Lobbying is a valuable means to influence and persuade in order to generate change. Social utility and engagement with public audience. Social utility of this project relied on the analytical results presented on the WordPress site for URW Cafe Amigos. The data I collected was from viewers' engagement on the platform and which blog posts had the most engagement. Blog post 3, We Need to Talk About Coffee Part 3, had the most engagement in comparison to other blogs, which was posted on May 9th. This particular blog post covers artificial intelligence versus artificial consciousness. The website was easy to access as it was linked with the Instagram, Facebook, and Discord page for members to read in their own time, feeding members' curiosity. Timeline of progress. In the early stages of this DA project, I followed this timeline I designed before receiving helpful critical feedback. I commenced week 4 and 5 and 6 following guidelines before I was redirected towards a non-sustainability approach and pushed further towards direct action at industry corporate level. Trajectory. I used a DA that had an already established audience passionate about coffee. I thought I could build on that interest and introduce topics that connect coffee with decarbonisation. My engagement with the DA initially followed a more sustainable approach to cutting GGEs by individual actions, where I promoted the reusable coffee cup idea onto the URW Cafe Amigos Instagram page. I became more aware that attempts to reduce carbon emissions via recycling by coffee consumers could only play a minor part in the larger scheme of things concerning decarbonisation. I later refined the DA after helpful feedback from my pitch that shaped the direction the DA was now going to take, and the research was brought in to examine carbon emissions at an industrial level where the majority of GGEs are generated. Project appraisal. Major setbacks for the trajectory of We Need to Talk About Coffee was the lack of coffee club events, which prevented me from implementing planned direct action activities and also not adequate time to focus on the DA, hence the lack of user engagement interaction. The survey was adequate at the beginning of the program in getting insight on what the audience knew about the coffee industry and to what extent they were willing to participate in direct action activities. Decarbonisation is about finding new ways of living. Changing human behavior is complicated. The feedback from the social utility project from members is that not everyone is comfortable with change or willing to take direct action. In conclusion, this report highlights that there are many ideas for new ways of direct action on cutting GGEs. However, these ideas have to confront the inertia to our systems that resist change. What will the future present? Ahead is how we can disconnect ourselves from dependence on fossil fuels without society as we know it. Unraveling as a consequence, the actions taken now will shape our future. With each decision made to take direct action to cut GGEs, it brings us closer to finding out whether we can decarbonize our world in time and avoid the impactful consequences that climate action will bring. Challenge that lies